Hey guys, I want to welcome everybody to the broadcast tonight. I've got about 1 minute before we go live. So, again, what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about how to build a team that will last way beyond the time in which you're actually building it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to probably give you some principles that you can follow. And again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to go ahead and just give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to to email back with you, talk with you live on the phone with this, with these attitudes and these principles. Just first, a little bit background about me. I actually got exposed into the home-based business industry, network marketing, when I was 20 years old. My background prior to getting into network marketing, obviously I was young, so my wife and I just got married. I actually quit college, talked my dad into backing me and buying a retail store, and so I bought a franchise when I was 20 years old. And my goal was to have 10 stores before I was 30. And at that point in time, I'd be able to hire a regional manager to oversee the stores and and financially be free. That was my goal when I was 20 years old. And a gentleman actually showed me the network marketing program in in September of 1977, and it was actually my neighbor. He was a school teacher, and he and I just kind of hit it off. And he came over to my house one night, and he sat down at the kitchen table and he laid out this concept. And I was excited, man. I got fired up right away because it was the most ingenious business model I've ever seen. It reminded me a lot of the franchise industry that I was in, with one exception, that it didn't require a lot of capital. Every time, you got to picture this, when I bought my first store in 1977, it required me to come up with 40,000 unencumbered cash. So I had $40,000 that wasn't attached to anything. Then I had to go to the bank and borrow $110,000 to open up that store. And the goal was that when I got in the retail business was, hey, get that store profitable, get that store so it's servicing the debt. And then as soon as I got another 40,000 unencumbered cash available, then go open up another store, do the same thing. And then, as soon as I got another 40,000, open up another store. So when Jim laid out this concept of network marketing to me and said, hey, listen, you can open up these businesses, but it didn't basically cost me a dime. Other people were going to go ahead and they were going to invest their money into their business, and they were going to run their operation. And so I got fired up, and so I got excited, and so I just figured that within a couple months I was going to just be knocking down thousands and thousands of dollars, and the reality was, 10 years later I had not made a dime. And one of the reasons I didn't make a dime was because I didn't understand it was a different mentality. There was a different methodology of building a network marketing business in contrast to a brick and mortar business. And I was very successful in the traditional business world. We ended up with 9 stores actually, and Walmart came against us, and in our locations we couldn't compete, so we happened to close the stores up. But I had a challenge when I was building a network marketing business, trying to figure out how this thing works. I mean, what is it that I'm missing? Well, one of the things I found out is that in network marketing, you don't have employees. These are independent business owners who own and operate their own businesses, and so therefore you cannot tell them what to do. In the retail business world is a little different, because I own the stores. I could tell the employees what to do. And so when I got when people got involved with me in the network marketing business, I had to realize they had to make their decisions to participate on their own accord. And I had nobody teaching me what to do and how to do that. And so what happened was, about 10 years into the industry, I finally got somebody to get me connected to a system. And the system they got me connected to was a system that started teaching me about attitudes and about behaviors and self-image, and started teaching me how people operate. And in fact, it was amazing to me, as like the things that I didn't understand why I did them, but I just see myself as a business person. One of the things I learned is that people always act in a manner that's consistent with how they see themselves conceptually. So therefore, if they see themselves as a person who struggle, they're always going to struggle no matter what they do. So therefore, if they see themselves as someone who struggles before they get into network marketing, they're always going to struggle in network marketing. And then as I started realizing that this mindset has a lot more to do with their success and in our success than anything else, I started realizing that what I needed to do is I needed to plug people into a system and let the system start teaching them how to become who they need to become. So once they become who they need to become, then they could manifest the physical equivalence of their dreams. And so it really wasn't so much of what they do and how they do it and why they do it, it was in who they were. And so I started understanding this concept, and all of a sudden, 10 years into the industry, I started listening to what I was being coached to do. Nobody told me to do anything because I was self-employed. They started coaching me on how to do this, and I started listening. And what happened within 90 days, we went from nothing to basically setting up $100,000 a year business. Not talk about income, I'm talking about in volume. And this is back in the 80s. And then within that first year, we actually set the foundation for a six-figure income, and we're able to maintain six figures for over 10 years. And what I learned is I was bringing people in, I had to realize that my job was to just bond with them, develop rapport, and develop responsiveness with them, and then plug them into the system, let the system work on building, providing them the environment, the atmosphere that they could plug into, and then that would then affect their attitude. And then the attitude, as their attitude would increase, then their actions would increase, and then they could actually start producing a result. So as you start picturing this in your mind, all of a sudden it becomes kind of fun, because now it's not my responsibility to see to it that someone else succeeds. All I had to do is just go off and look for people who have something that they want that they couldn't get doing what they were doing, and then plug them into the system and let the system help them become who they need to become. And once they become the person they needed to become, then they could build a business that's going to get their dreams. So all I did was just kind of like I was just throwing people into this, I call it a funnel, where you pop them in at the top, and what popped out the bottom were builders. So I just kept popping people in, and all of a sudden, boom, builders start popping out of the bottom. Well, one of the things that I started realizing, okay, if all I was doing, in fact, this is one of the things I see happening today in internet marketing. Most internet marketers are not really network marketers. Even though they get involved in a network marketing business, they don't really build a network marketing business. What they do is they build a direct sales business, because they're internet marketers and they get compensated, on an internet marketing platform. There's a big difference between recruiting and sponsoring. And what happens today, what I see more often than not, is I see a lot of recruiting where people will go off and just keep, recruiting people. In fact, as I watched a YouTube video on a guy, and he was talking about, he was basically he was giving his opinion on these other companies, whether they're good or they're bad, and his videos are all about the same. He say, hey, I checked this company out. This is really a good company. I'm not with this company, but it's a good company. They got great products. And he said, but one of the problems I see with this company is that the only way they build business is they do it belly to belly. And it's so hard, because you can only contact your friends or relatives so many times before they don't want to see you anymore. And what I've done, this is what he said. He said, what I've done is I figured out how to automate this system. I figured out how to create a leverage system, and I'm recruiting 10 to 15 people a month that are joining me in my company. Well, the minute he said that, I knew that he was not really sponsoring anybody. He was just recruiting people. He was not building a relationship. He was not developing rapport. He was not building responsiveness. He was just selling people on getting in. And the problem with that is you never get out of working, because your organization will not grow after you're done working, because you're the catalyst. You're the reason people get in, because you are recruiting them. So one of the things that, even though when I got involved in that system, I started understanding how you just throw them into the funnel and they pop out the bottom as builders, throw them in the funnel, they pop them out at the bottom as builders. I had to figure out how to develop a structure that would allow me to build this one time and have it keep growing long after I'm done working. And so what I figured out after, and I talked with a guy, his name is Jerry, and he was a mega six-figure income earner, and had businesses, all over the world. And he said, Jeff, he said the key in this is that you want to build a triple braided cord in your lines of sponsorship. Now, it doesn't make a difference what type of comp plan you're building. It doesn't make a difference if you're building a uni level, whether you're building an up system, whether you're building a a coded system, whether you're building a binary system or whether you're building a force matrix system, a follow me system, it doesn't make a difference. What Jerry told me, he said, Jeff, he says that the litmus check or test for any comp plan is you need to see to it that by the time you've got 3 legs, and these are personal legs that you bring in, personal enrollment legs, doesn't matter what kind of comp plan it is. He says if it's a binary, he said just run this litmus test. He said by the time you got 3 personal legs you brought in that are 20 deep, you should be making about 6 figures a year. And he said that becomes a litmus test. He says, now as you're driving that leg down 20 deep, I said, now watch how this works. He said, here's what the average person, why they fail is because they're a salesperson. They're always out trying to sell this. They're always out trying to sell people and getting in, and most people don't want to sell. Well, why is it so difficult to sell? Because you don't have the ability to go off and have an endless number of referrals accessible to you easily. And so that's why these internet marketers have put together these capture pages. And again, that's all tools you can use. But if all you're going to do is do what these gurus do and just basically recruit, you'll never build anything that lasts, because when you're done recruiting, it's done. So what Jerry told me, he says, Jeff, just realize you need people to build that leg 20 deep. Okay, and so he says, if you picture this, as soon as that you get that first guy in, okay, he said, first of all, don't sugarcoat this to people. He said, what happens too often is we try to make it sound so easy that network marketing is so easy. You need to get in with me, and then when they get in with you, they expect things to happen that are unrealistic, and unrealistic expectations are the foundation of frustration. And he says, right after frustration is disbelief, and then is disconnect. And so what happens is, he says, rather than make it sound so easy for people to get in, let them know you're looking for a specific type of a person. Okay, now, and you got to realize there are 2 different paths you can go to sponsor people and build your network marketing business. One, you can lead with the products, and then after you share the products with people, then share the opportunity with them. And that's certainly a viable program. Unfortunately, it only relates to about maybe 5% of the marketplace, because only 5% see themselves as salespeople. Or you could go off and look for the people who got a dream and a heart that they can't get doing what they're doing, and see if they're willing to do more than what they're doing now to get their dream. And what do they have to do? All they really have to do is buy their stuff. And then what happens is, like Jerry said, he says, Jeff, as you're out there and you're looking for the type of person you're looking for, which is a person who's got a dream. In fact, he said the first thing is, Jeff, he says, look for friendly people. He said, if someone's not friendly, okay, when you meet them, then guess what? They're not going to have a lot of a sphere of influence with people. They're certainly not going to have they're not going to connect you to a lot of people, because they're just not a friendly person. So he said, number 1, look for friendly people. Number 2, look for people who are open-minded. And he said, then the third thing is look for people who are hungry. So he said, if you got somebody friendly, open-minded, and they're looking for an opportunity, they're hungry, he says, then what you want to do is you want to show them what you're doing to find out if you can uncover and discover something that they want that they can't get doing what they're doing. And the minute they tell you, hey, yeah, I would love to be able to, put an addition on my house. I'd love to be able to take a vacation, every month. I'd love to be able to, take care of my family. They got these dreams in their heart that they can't get. And then you ask them, would you be willing to do more than what you're doing right now to get it? And if they can't say yes, if they got to say, well, that would depend upon what I got to do, that you got to realize that the dream is what motivates people to do this. The dream of getting something that they can't get doing what they're doing that's the power, that's the passion, that's the connection. So he said, you got to find out if they got a dream. He said, if they don't have if they can't give you a firm, vision of what they want to get, he said, then what happens is you're kind of like pushing a rope. But he said, if you go off and find somebody that's got a dream and a heart that they can't get, and they're willing to do more than what they're doing, he said, then you just ask them. And he said, you just say, hey, listen, would you be willing to take some direction from me and partner up with me if I could help you get your dream in the next, when I was talking with Jerry, this is back in the in a previous company, and he said about 2 years. I really firmly believe if you follow the programs with what we have available with technology today, you can get her done in 6 months. Because you got to realize, when I built my business up to that 6-figure income and maintained it for over for over 10 years, so in other words, I created $1 million worth of profit for me. There was no such thing as the internet. Okay, fact is, cell phones didn't come in till late in the game. So every Monday I was in Minneapolis, Tuesday I was in Green Bay, Wednesday I was in Chicago, Thursday I was in Kansas City. So I didn't have a life. Here's what's cool. I'm sitting in front of my in front of my computer right now. I'm doing a broadcast over the web. And when I'm done, I turn this off and I go into my house. So I really truly believe that you can accomplish your dreams within 6 months if you follow the recommendations that we'll give you. So like Jerry said, it was 2 years back then. So here's what I tell people now. Hey, listen, you got the dream in your heart, you can't get doing what you're doing. If I could help you get it, okay, would you be willing to do more than you're doing right now? And if they say, well, yeah, and again, I understand. They say, well, what do I got to do? You say, well, you can do what I'm going to recommend you do, but if you could do it and you believe you could do it, would you be willing to do it? And if they say, yeah, they say, well, here's all we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about you purchasing, in our case, with the company that we've set up, we're going to talk about purchasing $25 a month. All I want you to do is purchase $25 a month worth of stuff. Would you be willing to purchase $25 a month worth of stuff if it can help you get that new house, if it can help you get that new car, if it can help you stay home and raise your kids? In other words, if it can help you get your dream. And if they say, well, that depends on what the products are, you got to be asking yourself, are you maybe talking to the wrong people? Because you've got to find someone who's got something they want that they can't get doing what they're doing, who's willing to do more. And if someone is not willing to commit to spend $25 a month on stuff to get their dream, then their dream probably is not that important to them. See, here's what, and again, some people will come back and say, well, yeah, but the products are important. And absolutely they are. And we got awesome products. Fact is, this product here is our #1 selling product. It's Aqualite. It's a water enhancer. It actually turns ordinary tap water into healthy water. It's a little sachet. Each little sachet treats 2 liters of water. You put the sachet in like a tea bag and shake it up, let it set 5 minutes, and changes the chemical composition of the water, breaks up the water molecule cluster, so better absorption into the cells. And basically, there's the serendipity is awesome. We've got a liquid mineral product. We know right now that we're just not getting the organic complexes from our food supply because of the improper farming methods. So we got great products, okay? But here's the reality. Because we got great products, we don't need to worry about the products. What we need to worry about, are you talking to the right people? And again, the fact is, I have a gentleman, and he just ordered some more products. I think it was yesterday or today. I can't remember for sure. But every month he sells 12 bottles of this to customers. Now he buys them at the wholesale from us. So this retails for $25, and if we have a wholesale option as an IBO, you can buy them for $12.50. So he buys them in quantity, gets them for $12.50 a pop, and then he sells them at retail for $25. So every month he makes $150. Now again, that's good. That's good money. That's good extra money. But you know what? My dream is not to make an extra $150 a month. My dream is to do this. My dream is to do this. My dreams are big. $150 a month. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but you know what? I'm motivated about making enough money to get this dream that I've got to come true. And $150 a month ain't going to make it. Now, so what happens is I don't have a problem with that guy who wholesales or buys that products at wholesale and retail. So I'm excited that we can help him do that because that's what he wants to do. But what I'm looking for the person who's got that big dream in their heart that they can't get doing what they're doing, who's willing to do more, and who can follow some directions that we're going to give them. So like what Jerry said, he said, Jeff, rather than make it so easy to get people into your network marketing business, he says, let them know they got to qualify. If they qualify, you will partner with them. You'll take your time, your money, your resources, and your expertise, and you'll go to work with them to help them get that dream that they have that they can't get doing what they're doing. And all they got to do is spend $25 a month on stuff and then go get 2 people who got a dream and a heart that they can't get doing what they're doing. And if they just get 2, you get 2, they get 2 through 4 levels. This is how you show it. This is exactly how you show it. You get 2 who get 2 through 4 levels. That will put $1,000 a month in your pocket. You want to make 10 grand a month? Then you get 2 who get 2 through 4 levels again. That'll put you at 10 grand a month. You want to make 30, 40, 50,000 a month? Go do it again. It's just that simple. You get 2, they get 2. So when you're talking with people, you find out if they got a dream in a heart that they can't get doing what they're doing. See if they're willing to do more than what they're doing. And if they say yes, say here's what's going to take, $25 a month, and you get 2, they get 2 through 4 levels, make you $1,000. You get 2, they get 2 through 4 levels again for the second 2, make you $10,000 a month. You get 2, they get 2 through 4 levels. levels for the third time, make you 30, 40, 50,000 a month. If they say yes to that, then the next thing you need to do, you need to plug them into a system that's going to help them work on their attitude, their self-image, and their belief and their self-concept, because the reality is they will, no matter how hard they really work, they will always manifest the physical equivalence of how they see themselves today. We will always act in a manner that is consistent with our self-concept. So if we see ourselves as a person that makes 50, 60, 70,000 a year, that's how we see ourselves. It's unrealistic to think that someone's going to come involved and get involved with you in your network marketing business who's making $50,000 a year and without making any changes internally to make $500,000 a year. That is unrealistic. That is one of the problems we have in this industry. We got so many people pitching stuff that's not real. If you want to make $500,000 a year, can you? Absolutely. Will you have to change? Absolutely. Can you make it without changing? It won't last if you do make it. And what we're talking about is making it and having it last. So when you look for that person that's got a dream, they got something they want, they can't get doing what they're doing, they're willing to do more than what they're doing, they're willing to spend $25 a month, and they're willing to get to who get to, and then they're willing to listen to audios, read books, they're willing to hang with people who are successful so they can work on their attitude, their self-image, and their belief. You partner up with them. Now here's what you have to realize. That's your first guy. Remember what Jerry said? He said the litmus test on any comp plan is to see by the time you got 3 of your personal enrollment legs 20 deep that you're making 10 grand a month. Well, so let's say I go off and I sponsor Jimmy. Okay, so as soon as Jimmy gets in, Jimmy says, man, you got a deal. I said, now Jimmy, let's you and I partner up. Here's the first thing I want you to do. That we have to have a list of people. We have to have a list of people that we can contact to see if they fit our, again, how many are we looking for? We're looking for 2. So we need to interview a bunch of people to find those 2 people. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make out a list of people you know. And again, people say, well, I've already talked to my friends and relatives. I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, the step back. Okay. Do you have something you want you can't get? Do you have a dream in your heart that you can't get doing what you're doing? Okay. Are you willing to do more than what you're doing today to get it? Would you be willing to buy $25 a month worth of stuff? And then would you be willing to partner with me to help you get to who get to through 4 levels and put $1,000 a month in your pocket? That if you say yes, okay, then here's what you need to do. You need to make out your list. Okay, you need to make out a list of your friends, your relatives, your coworkers. Why do you need to do that? Will any of those get in? Who knows? But I will tell you this: if you're not willing to do that, it won't work for you. Okay, you have to be willing to. You have to be willing to do this to have it work for you. If they say, yeah, you've got a deal, they say, well, here, make out the list, send out a text, say, dude, I got a way we can put $1,000 a week in our pocket. Let me know if you're open to look at it. And if they say yes, you send them to a funnel that we've put together that explains a real simple comp plan, a real simple concept about building an end user link system, about rather than, going to the store to complete a transaction, you can complete the transaction from your house. We're building this end user link system. Our goal is the bigger the team gets, the more volume we got, the more vendors we got, the more products we got, the better deals we got. All you got to do is just buy your stuff, get to who get to, and that's how this thing works. And we'll let you test drive it, let you kick the tires and take it for a test drive for 90 days for only $6. And for that test drive, we'll give you a travel club membership. By the way, guys, that travel club membership that we give them actually retails for $25 a month. Okay, so that is the monthly price on that travel club. Now, so when we say we're going to give you a year membership, we're actually giving them a $300 travel club. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Jeff, don't you sell for $75 a year? Well, what we do, if you buy 1 month for $25 and you have it on the reoccurring program, we give you 3 more months for free. So yeah, you get 4 months for $25, but the price on the travel club, in fact, when we first launched the travel club, it was $25 a month. So what we tell people, we'll let you kick the tires, lock in your spot. We'll give you a $300 travel club for $6. So those people that spent the $6, their name goes in the funnel. So you just throw these people in the funnel. Those people in the funnel, they pop out, they spend $6. Those are the ones we get on the phone. Those are the ones who get on the phone and say, hey, Joe, my name is Jeff, and I see Jimmy, shot you a little text, and you checked out our program, and you decided to opt in for $6. Let me ask you a question. And what I do the same thing with him that I did with Jimmy. I want to find out, does he have a dream in his heart that he can't get doing he's doing? Is she willing to do more than what she's doing? I want to find out if she's what I'm looking for. And then as soon as she says, yeah, man, you got a deal. I said, well, here's what you want to do. Nancy, you want to make out your list, and then you want to send out your text, and then then, and then send them to your funnel to see this real simple program. Say, hey, listen, you can make $1,000 a week. You get 2, they get 2. End user link system. Building an army of people. We're all cooperatively working together to create income through buying power, and you can lock in your spot and test drive it for 90 days without committing anything. Just spend $6. We'll give you $300 travel club. So she does that, and one of the people pops out of that. Guess what? I'm on the phone with that one. I'm driving that Taproot down. I take Jimmy. When Jimmy gets Nancy, and I close Nancy. I talk with Nancy. When Nancy goes off and Nancy gets Mary, I'm on the phone with Mary. I'm working with Mary. When Mary goes off and gets Lori, guess what? I'm on the phone with Lori. I'm working with Lori. I'm driving this thing down. I'm driving it down, and guess what? I'm telling Jimmy what I'm doing. I'm telling Nancy what I'm doing. I'm telling Mary what I'm doing. I'm telling everybody what I'm doing. I'm driving this thing down, and all of a sudden, when Jimmy says, "Well, okay, this is kind of cool. So how do I make this thing work?" Well, Jimmy, you see what I'm doing here? You go off and do the same thing in another leg. You go off and do the same thing. When you get that one going, you drive that one down. As soon as Jimmy has taken his second leg and he's got his second leg down 5 deep. Okay, now I'm coaching him. I'm not doing that second leg. I'm just taking his primary leg. I'm driving that one down. I'm taking Jimmy. I'm taking, Nancy. I'm taking Mary. I'm taking Lori. I'm taking Lori. I'm going down. I got Heather. I'm just driving that baby down. And what happens, as soon as Jimmy's got that second leg 5 deep, now Jimmy has just showed me that Jimmy wants to do this. That Jimmy, he's starting to understand this. Now I say, Jimmy, now you and I are going to partner driving the Taproot down on this leg. All of a sudden, Lori starts figuring out how this thing works. As soon as Lori's got a leg 5 deep, her second leg 5 deep. Now Lori, Jimmy, and I all drive that Taproot down. All of a sudden, Heather figures this thing out, and Heather gets her second leg 5 deep. Now watch this. Watch. Now it's Jimmy, Lori, and Heather driving that Taproot down. I don't have to. You see, you have to be willing to drive that leg down 20 deep. And here's one of the mistakes. Do not let these people that's in that line of sponsorship take the lead in driving that Taproot down until they prove to you they can do this by taking their secondary leg down 5 deep. Now, as they take that secondary leg down 5 deep, now they're going to partner with you in the primary. And as soon as, now Jimmy's got, Lori got Heather. As soon as Jimmy's got the third one in that Taproot, now Jimmy don't have to work that Taproot. Every leg that you start, that's how you build this. That's how you build an organization that grows way beyond you're done working. Now, what happens if somebody can't find anybody? They can't get anybody. Yeah, we've got tools. We've got systems that will teach you on how to go ahead and basically we call it generate traffic that you can send to the funnel that maybe is beyond your personal realm of influence. But let me really help you. You have to have both high personal and high fiscal credibility to have success in network marketing. If all you have is if all you do is just basically buy traffic, send it to a site, you have no personal credibility. A lot of times, here's what happens: you'll send somebody to a site, they don't know you. They were just the lead. They go to the site, they really like this, but they don't know you, so they start maybe looking around and see if anybody else they know who already is involved with this. It's happened to me. I had somebody send me something I really thought, this is pretty cool, but I don't know this guy that sent me the link. So I started, I on Facebook, I got a hold of, a couple different guys, and I said, hey, Joe, are you in this? How about Mike? And Mike said, yeah, I'm in that. So guess who I joined under? I joined under Mike. You need personal and fiscal credibility to have success in network marketing, because there's no glue. There's no glue with just traffic. That's why these internet marketers, all they do is recruit, because they don't take the time to build a relationship. Now, we can teach you how to build authority and how to build relationship out of generating traffic. But you know what? It's a whole lot easier if you already got authority and relationship with your list. And how many people do you need to make $1,000 a month? You need 2. Fact is, when you really understand what we've got, you can make $1,000 a week with 2. So you don't have to go off and automatically default and go into traffic. And again, it's not easy and it's not cheap to generate traffic. Yeah, I mean, some of the tools that we're going to teach you and make available to you can generate organic traffic, and we got a $25 system that is awesome, okay? But it's a whole lot easier. The low-hanging fruit is somebody that you already know, somebody that you already have a relationship with. And so what happens is, if you already got a relationship with somebody, you just basically edify somebody they don't know. That's the fiscal credibility. You got the personal credibility, and that gives you a match. So the key to building this so it grows way beyond the time and you're working, is that you've got to go off and drive that taproot down, looking for people who are going to duplicate what you're doing in their secondary leg. And as soon as they got that second leg 5 deep, and again, this is important, 5 deep, then you bring them in and partner with them to drive the taproot down. Now, here are the numbers. Out of 5 people say, yes, I really want this to work. Yes, I got a dream in my heart that I can't get. Yes, I'm willing to do more than what I'm doing. Yes, I'm willing to buy $25 a month. Yes, I'm willing to go off and partner with you to help get this thing done, to get to who get to. Out of 5 that say, yes, I'm the one, 1 is now, 1 is later, 2 watch, and 1 never does. That's why when you drive that thing down, just realize by the time you're 20 levels deep, you probably got 4 nows, you got 4 laters, you got 8 watchers, and you got 4 that never will. And if you do it fast enough, what's going to happen, even the quitters will act like a now for about 2 weeks. So the key is you just keep moving this thing. How fast can you get it 20 deep? Can you get it 20 deep in 20 days? I think you can. Okay. Can you imagine this? By the time you got 3 legs, 20 deep, you're making 6 figures a year. Now, again, no income guarantees. I'm just giving you an illustration based upon the comp plan and an understanding of building success. But just think, you could actually get this done as fast as you want. But guys, hey, it's been great sharing with you. And again, every Tuesday I do a little broadcast like this. And again, anything we can do, we're here for you. Again, if you got any questions, give me a holler. I see you got a couple chats coming in. But again, I like to keep these things, I'm a little bit over. I'm running right at 30 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down. And this is Jeff signing off.